Alright guys, so today we're looking at Hurt as performed by Johnny Cash. Excellent song. I covered the first section really well in the first video, so make sure you reference that to learn it along with your chord chart and your tab in front of you so you can make sure you nail that. We're going to pick up here on measure 21 where we're getting ready to go into the chorus section. And we're going to start off by holding what's called a G5 chord. It's the 3rd fret on the 1st, 2nd, and 6th strings. The only other thing we're doing, I'm muting out the 5th string. I don't want to hear that at all. And we're going to shift from our 8th note pattern that we've been playing to now we're going to be doing quarter notes. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and what I'm doing right at the end there is I'm going to lift my ring finger off of the 2nd string to play that open for the last beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and all down strums. Now we go into the chorus section, starting with our A minor, same one that we used in the first part. A little bit different on this drum pattern here. He's actually playing this on piano. So he's playing right hand for the treble sound and then left hand for the bass. So what we're going to do is use all down strums on this. Matches that pattern as well as I could on just the guitar without a piano. Alright guys, so now we're getting into the chorus. We're going to be playing an A minor chord, which is going to be the 1st fret of the 2nd string, 2nd fret of the middle 2 strings. Be playing 5 strings, we'll not be playing the 6th string for our A minor. We'll be doing a down strum on all of the notes in the chord and then an and strum for this 8th note strum on just the bass notes. So it'll sound like this. So the count will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and shifting to an F chord, which will be 1st fret on the 1st, 2nd, and 6th strings, 3rd fret on the 4th and 5th string, and 2nd fret on the 3rd string. Same type of rhythm pattern, only this time I'll be able to use all 6 strings for the main strum. Also at the end of each one of these chords I will hit an and strum, which is just going to be open 3 strings. Just allows you to shift to the next chord, gives you just a hair more, like a half beat to get to the next chord. Next chord will be C. C being the 3rd fret of the 5th string, 2nd fret of the 4th, 1st fret of the 2nd string, 5 strings on that chord. And finally G, which would be 3rd fret of the 1st and 6 strings, 2nd fret of the 5th, and that is. So this section will sound like this. Go through that twice exactly as it's written there. We've got a slight variation coming up. What's going to change is we're still going to play the A minor and the F, but instead of going to C and then G, we're just going to go G twice. So it'll be A minor, F, G, G. Sound like this. The second time through, we're just going to do 1 G, and then it's going to go back into the first section again. There's a slight variation there. I'm going to go through the details on that for you, but this is for the chorus. Now on the chorus, it starts off kind of mellow, and then it crescendos up. That means it gets louder. It starts out mellow and ends up almost angry sounding. So I'm going to play it for you like that so you can experience what I'm talking about, and then we'll get into the details when we loop back. Starting off with the A minor, starting at the right before the chorus, I'm actually going to start with the G5. It'll be like this. See that I just kept ramping it up louder and louder. Each time I went to the next repeat, it was slightly louder and slightly more aggressive. And it really comes across, I think in the video, we'll have a video link at the bottom of this to Cash actually doing this song. And you can kind of feel that, how it's almost an angriness coming through in the music. All right, next up, some details on the loop. All right, guys, so now we're looking at a few details after we go through the first chorus. When we go back to the A minor, as in the beginning part, we don't just go. He actually starts off by going. So there's actually 4 sounds there. Then he goes to the C, and then the D sus2 is. So instead of doing the up strike to get 2 notes there at the D sus2, it's just going to be single notes. Make sure you look at your tab sheets. This is measure 37 and 38 that I'm talking about. Again, keep in mind that the numbers for these measures are only at the beginning, so of each bar, they're going to show you a number. And then after that, you would have to count the measures until we get to the next bar, and it would show you the number again. So where I'm referring to, it will say 37 at the beginning of the bar towards the end of the page. It actually has the A minor, and then the C, and then back to A minor. It gets slightly different there than C. And then after that, it gets back into the regular part. We go back into the verse, which is just slight variation to kind of pull us from the chorus that we just played back into the verse section. The only other thing I have tabbed for you here is there was a detail that actually happens. It's listed in measure 42 right at the bottom of your tab sheet. This happens around measure 25. It's a secondary guitar part, but I thought it was cool, so I wanted to bring it to you if you did want to play it. A little bit tricky to play. We're going to start off with a G5 chord. We're actually going to hold that with our little finger, our ring finger, and our middle fingers holding the 3rd fret of the 1st, 2nd, and 6th strings. And then we're going to have to use our index finger back here on the 1st fret of the 2nd string because we're going to shift to that. It's a little bit hard to reach this, but it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so without me speaking, it's... And you'll hear that as a backing guitar around measure 25. So if you want to plug that in, you can. It's a little bit extra detail for you members. Want to just bring it to you, so if you want to put the details in, you can. Make sure you use slow down features on this one, looping functions. Stop the video anytime you feel a little bit overwhelmed and look at small sections of it and build this one block at a time, one measure at a time until you can play it. As always, comments in the section below. Let us know what you're thinking about this song or any song that we're covering here or anything at Guitar Animal, as well as maybe suggestions, things that we could do better or things that you like or you don't like. Love to hear from you guys. Make sure you check out the video link below as well. It'll be to the song that or the version of the song I was listening to when I actually scored this piece. And thanks for being members of Guitar Animal. I'm Trent.